Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Yokam cha mai pasyati tasyaham na pranashyami satyame na pranashyati. For one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, I am never lost, nor is he ever lost to me. A person in Krishna consciousness certainly sees Lord Krishna everywhere, and he sees everything in Krishna. Such a person may appear to see all separate manifestations of the material nature, but in each and every instance he is conscious of Krishna, knowing that everything is the manifestation of Krishna's energy. Nothing can exist without Krishna, and Krishna is the Lord of everything. This is the basic principle of Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is the development of love of Krishna, a position transcendental even to material liberation. It is the stage beyond self-realization at which the devotee becomes one with Krishna in the sense that Krishna becomes everything for the devotee, and the devotee becomes full in loving Krishna. An intimate relationship between the Lord and the devotee then exists. In that stage, the living entity attains his immortality. Nor is the personality of Godhead ever out of sight of the devotee. To merge in Krishna is spiritual annihilation. A devotee takes no such risk. It is stated in the Brahma Samhita, Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Santah Sadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti Yang Shyama Sundaram Achintya Guna Swarupam Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. I worship the primeval Lord Govinda, who is always seen by the devotee, whose eyes are anointed with the pulp of love. He is seen in his eternal form of Shyamasundar, situated within the heart of the devotee. At this stage, Lord Krishna never disappears from the sight of the devotee, nor does the devotee ever lose sight of the Lord. In the case of a yogi who sees the Lord as Paramatma within the heart, the same applies. Such a yogi turns into a pure devotee and cannot bear to live for a moment without seeing the Lord within himself. Prabhupada writes here in the purport that the basic principle of Krishna consciousness is to understand that nothing can exist without Krishna, and Krishna is the Lord of everything. It is with this understanding that one can see Krishna everywhere. Krishna is everywhere. And why don't we see him? That also Prabhupada suggests in the purport, who can see Krishna all the time? Whose eyes are anointed with the pulp of love. This is a poetic manner of expression because Krishna is... What happened? Krishna is known as Uttama Shloka. He is praised with the best shlokas, and Krishna is the natural subject of all art, beautiful expression, poetry. Aesthetics finds its perfection in Krishna and in glorifying Krishna. Generally in the Western countries at least, here also there are poets, even in ancient Sanskrit literature there are poets who glorified mundane love affairs. So, especially in the Western countries, they have this idea of love and romance and poetry, praises the beauty, usually the beauty of a woman, the beautiful eyes and hair and so many things like this. But the perfection of glorification of beautiful form is the description of Krishna. So here it's described in poetic language, that one whose eyes are anointed with the pulp of love, in other words, whose heart is full of love for Krishna, he always sees Krishna within his heart. And actually everywhere else also. Especially it's said within the heart. Why within the heart? Well, Krishna is actually within the heart. Ishvara sarva bhutanam viddesha arjuna tishtati. Krishna is within the heart of every living being. Krishna is also in every atom. So why is it stated that He is within the heart specifically? If He is also within every atom, then why specifically within the heart? Heart, that's Ishvara sarva bhutanam viddesha arjuna tishtati, within the area of the heart. Within the area of the heart means, even from the, Prabhupada pointed out that even from the scientific point of view, if doctors examine, the source of energy within the body is the heart. So that source of energy, the source of all energy, is Krishna. Krishna is within the heart. But a heart, that also means not simply the organ that pumps blood, but it also, when we say the heart, that refers to the consciousness and specifically to the feelings and emotions, sentiments of a person. So Krishna is within our heart. That's stated also in the Upanishads, that the example is given of two birds in a tree. So one is tasting the fruits of the tree, and the other is simply observing. So this example is given of the Jiva, who is situated within the heart, and the Supreme Lord, the Atma and Paramatma, who is watching the Atma, the Jiva, taste the fruits. That means karma phal, punya karma and pap karma. So Krishna's his function within the heart is that He is upadrashtanumanta cha. He is watching everything, and He's awarding the fruits of different activities to the Jiva and allowing him to act in various ways, and at the same time always trying to inspire him to come to Krishna consciousness. So Krishna is within the heart of every living being, means that He is the very close friend of every person. There's one word in Sanskrit, suhrit. Srila Prabhupada explained that in English we have the word friend. Of course there are other words for friend also. There are words like acquaintance, buddy, mate. These are all different terms that we can use for friend. Similarly in Sanskrit there are different terms for friend. Prabhupada explained three terms: mitra, bandhu and suhrit. Mitra means well-wisher, general well-wisher. Bandhu means friend, good friend. And suhrit means heart-to-heart friend. That word is there. Hrit means hridaya, heart-to-heart friend. So Krishna, as he states several times in Bhagavad-gita, that He is the suhritam sarva bhutanam. He is the very best heart-to-heart close friend of every living being. And the evidence of that is that He remains with every jiva, conditioned soul, in their sojourn throughout 84 lakh species. And even though they constantly reject Krishna, Krishna does not reject them. He is always ready to accept them. Even if one is offensive to Krishna, which everyone in this material world is, but even if one is grossly offensive, even if he is neglectful of Krishna, if one even once turns towards Krishna, Krishna immediately accepts. All right, come on. Come, be my friend. Savadhaman parityaja mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshishami mashucha. You can imagine someone in the material world, a friendship is based on mutual good dealings. But if one friend starts to act in a wrong manner towards the other, the friend comes and says, "Oh, how nice to see you. Oh, how horrible to see you." Yeah. Or these dealings we see all the time. Someone says, "Can I borrow 1,000 rupees? I'll give it to you tomorrow." And then, "Okay, sure." And then you never get it back. There's always some excuse, but there's never any money. So these kind of dealings, people don't want to be friends. There should be some reciprocation. So what is the position of Krishna? He's the best friend of every jiva, and from time immemorial they are neglecting, rejecting, acting wrongly. But if a jiva shows even a slight inclination to become Krishna conscious, then Krishna is ready to help him. And if he surrenders to Krishna, Krishna forget. All right, all the bad things in the past, never mind. It's not that when he says, well, now I'd like to be your friend, and then Krishna says, well, what about all those years you rejected me? Now I'm going to punish you. So you're laughing. But in the material world, one would do that. That is normal. One wants to take revenge. Normal because we're not Krishna conscious. Now we find all history is full of this. So many wars are based, practically they're all based on envy. That is the basic principle of material existence. Everyone is envious of everybody else. And if someone insults someone else, then they'll never forget, and they want to get revenge. We've seen even in great souls in Mahabharata, Dronacharya and Drupad, he insulted Drona, and he never forgot. He never forgot. And therefore he took revenge, and then again Drupada wanted to take revenge, to the extent of killing. This is the way material existence is going on. But Krishna is so kind that even if we reject him, which we're all doing, that's why we're in the material world. Krishna bahi mukhoya bhogavantakarin nikatasta mayatare japati adhare. The beginning of our entanglement in this material world is because we've become inimical towards Krishna. But Krishna, he craves that relationship of love with every living being. Love is the essence of Krishna's existence. When we say love, generally people think of that as a very sentimental term. Especially in the modern age, love has become acquainted with with lusty feelings, especially with lusty feelings. But love, Krishna, he is known as Prem Purushottam. He is the supreme person, but he's more interested in loving than dominating. That is the special feature of Krishna, as opposed to not exactly opposed to, but are in comparison with the Narayana forms. Narayana, the Vishnu forms, they're also full of love. There are many devotees of Lakshmi Narayana, Lakshmi Nrsimha, and Ram, Sita Ram, who have a relationship of love. But especially Krishna, this form of God, he reciprocates love more intimately, without any question, or without any over-dominating feelings of awe and reverence. So much so that, especially in Vrindavan, the inhabitants of Vrindavan, even if sometimes they think that Krishna is the Supreme Lord, they see how powerful he is, but they think, oh, he's so powerful. Oh, look, Krishna's going to play. Let's go and run with him. They're not overawed by Krishna's opulence and majesty, but they're simply relishing serving him, or sometimes scolding him. His friends, his parents, his lovers, they may scold him also, because they have such a close relationship of love. This Mr. Surya Narayan, I think maybe he should be given a seat to sit on. He's walking with a stick and he can't sit very well. Please, this gentleman, please arrange this. Despite being so much powerful, he is more interested in loving than dominating. It's more important to him. Domination, that is natural for him because he is the supreme controller and master of everything. But even more natural for him is to have a loving relationship with everybody. Now, it's not that when we say Krishna craves a loving relationship with every living being, it's not that he's feeling incomplete. He is Prem Purushottam, he is Purna Purushottam, he is complete in himself. He is Atma Rama and Apta Kama. These two words we'll find in the Bhagavatam. Atma Rama means he takes pleasure in his own self. And Apta Kama means all his desires are fulfilled. Krishna has so many intimate devotees whose level of devotion we can only aspire to follow in the footsteps of. Mother Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, the gopis, the gopas, Sridham, Sudam, Dam, Vasudam, all the cowherd boys. So they are such wonderful devotees that we can hardly aspire to come to such a level. And Krishna is fully satisfied by the loving exchanges of such devotees. Then we may think, why should Krishna bother with us? Why should he want to have a loving relationship with us? Why does he bother speaking Bhagavad-gita to us? We rebelled from Krishna, we rebelled against Krishna, so why doesn't he just let us rot in this material world? Well, he does. He gives us the opportunity to rot in this material world. But he also wants to re-establish that loving relationship with us. Not that he's complete and full, but because he has infinite capacity to reciprocate with all living beings. Even though he's full and complete and perfect, he wants to see that every living being that is my part and parcel is relating to me in relationship with love. Even though his love is unlimitedly expanded, still he wants to expand it more. So he's fully satisfied, yet still he is not very satisfied to see all of us bereft of a relationship with him. So how is it possible? You can say in the same sentence, he's fully satisfied in himself and with his devotees, but yet he's dissatisfied. Both things are possible. All contradictions are possible in the Supreme Absolute Truth. He doesn't lose anything if we don't surrender to him. He's not bereft of anything. But at the same time, he would prefer to see that we who are his parts and parcels don't waste and spoil our existence, forgetting him. Therefore, Krishna comes and speaks Bhagavad-gita and gives the process of devotional service by which the conditioned souls can gradually develop to the level of pure love of God. Krishna has given this very wonderful process for reawakening the love of him that is the natural propensity of every living being. Every one of us, and not only in the human body, but every living being we see, has the natural propensity to love Krishna. But at the present time, that is covered by gross ignorance of identifying with the body, of thinking I can be happy in this material world, and of forgetting Krishna. We're discussing Krishna and the whole big Twin Cities is going on all around us, and beyond the Twin Cities, the whole of Andhra and the whole of India and the whole of the world and the whole of the universe. And how many people are discussing about Krishna? Of course, actually many people are discussing about Krishna. Young Brahma, Varanendra, Rudra, Marita, Stundanti, Divyai, the demigods, they're praising Krishna. But we see in this world that people are more interested in, what are most people doing at this time on Sunday night? Watching TV probably? Quite likely. Watching some movie, or they're not awakening their Krishna consciousness. They've lost that. So it may seem that Krishna, well, how is it that everybody has a relationship with Krishna? It seems that only a few people in this world are interested. That is the misfortune of those who are not interested in Krishna, but from Shastra we understand that Everybody does have a relationship with Krishna. It's not just something that someone invented or concocted or made up. Some people say like that there's no such person as Krishna. What is all this believing in God? But if there's no such person as Krishna, then how is there so much talk of Krishna, writing about Krishna, propagation of the names of Krishna, going on for so many hundreds and thousands of years? If it was simply a big illusion, then how come the big learned acharyas have dedicated their lives? I mean, we see the acharyas, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Vallabhacharya, Jiva Goswami, and so many acharyas. Jiva Goswami, I'm saying he's the most profuse of the early writers in the line of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in Madhva line, so many big scholars. Jnana Sindhu, very famous. And in Sri Vaishnava line, so many also. Vedanta Deshika, especially. And Lokapya line, what is it? Lokam hymns. Two different branches, and apparently opposed to each other, but their aim of both is to serve the Supreme Lord, Bhagavan, Vishnu. But these are not foolish people. They're very intelligent people. Their writings show this. Their grasp of philosophical principles is actually nowadays people, they don't even understand these things. They have no depth of understanding. People are so foolish. They think if they can answer a few questions on TV in a quiz contest, this is very intelligent. But how deep the intelligence of people were in previous ages, the kings they would award, they would have competitions, not this who won the cricket test series in 1972 or stupid questions like this. I don't know what kind of questions they have, but I would presume. But they would have competitions between the pundits who can establish the proper philosophy, who can establish the Siddhanta, and they would reward them. So it was a great culture of scholarship. So all these great scholars, they all recognized Krishna as supreme. Even Shankaracharya, who, I believe that's in Madhva line, they have some mantra while they're urinating. They say, now we are urinating on the Mayavadis. They're fit to be urinated on. But even Shankaracharya, he also accepts. Sabhagavan Swayam Krishna Narayana Prayovyartat Bhajagovindam Mudhamate. Even he accepts. So, this worship of Krishna, it's not some fantasy or phantasmagoria. It's going on, and it will go on. And when your Amitabh Bachchan and your Kapil Dev cricketer and your Sri Devi actress and all these, when all they're long forgotten, when no one even thinks of their names, still there will be so many people worshipping Krishna. Because this is reality. These popular people, they come up and they go down again. And they're forgotten. And Krishna, intelligent people are worshipping Krishna. And the foolish people, they find some other fool and they put on a big pedestal. This is our hero or heroine. So Krishna consciousness, that is meant for most intelligent people who are interested in understanding what is the purpose of life. What are we actually looking for? Actually, everyone is looking for Krishna. You're watching TV, why is that? You want to get some happiness. But what is the real meaning of happiness? It means to understand Krishna. Whatever we're doing, we want to get a good job. Why? Whatever we say, whatever we do, the answer is that ultimately we're looking for happiness. But we don't know where to look, we don't know where to find that happiness. Real happiness means to find Krishna. And as long as we don't find our relationship with Krishna, then whatever else we do, we'll never be satisfied. Maya is Bahurupini. She has many, many, many forms. And even when we think we have exhausted all now I have conquered Maya, then again Maya will come in another way. She has so many ways to come. As long as we are not thinking how to serve Krishna, how to surrender to Krishna, how to re-establish our love for Krishna, that is the actual platform of happiness, then we will be befooled by Maya and caught in material existence. So here Krishna is speaking words of love for his devotees. This is within the chapter that describes the endeavors of the yogis to control the mind and senses by a very difficult process, which has got nothing to do with the process of bhakti, which is an exchange of love with Krishna. The yoga process is more or less a mechanical process. But it is good for foolish people who believe in, who have faith in such things, because the yoga system ultimately teaches to focus the mind on the Vishnu form. It doesn't teach to love Vishnu, because the hearts of the yogis are bereft of a conception of love. They simply want to be very rigid. But the very nature of Lord Vishnu is that he is full of love. So if the yogis, if they are fortunate enough to have any trace of love for the Supreme Lord manifest in their hearts, and when they start to see the Vishnu form, they will become attracted and want to develop their relationship of love with him. Unfortunately, because of their wrong training and wrong attitude, even those yogis who are successful in seeing the form of Vishnu within their heart generally don't develop an attitude of love towards him. They may develop an attitude of respect, or they may develop an attitude of, oh, now I am seeing myself, I am God, which means they are fallen. They again fall down. But here, Krishna is not referring so much to the yogi who, by his meditation, the Supreme Lord rewards him with a vision of himself. But he's referring to the devotees who always see Krishna. How do they see Krishna? By an attitude of love. And that love, that, like I say, it's not this sentimental, superficial love of the material world, but it is that love by which one cannot forget Krishna at every moment. And for such a person, Krishna can never forget him either. Krishna never forgets anyone at any moment. Just as we are enjoined to be Krishna conscious, Krishna himself is conscious of every jiva in existence. That is not possible for us. But because Krishna is unlimited, he is able to be conscious of the hopes, aspirations, and activities of every jiva in existence. So that is not possible for us, nor is it advised for us to even try for such a thing, to be conscious of all other living beings. But we should be conscious of Krishna, who is that one person who is the center of everything and who is the object of love for everybody. Sometimes, not sometimes, that's always, that in this material world, naturally that saying is there, birds of a feather flock together. Different kinds of people, they're attracted to other certain kinds of people. And we have marriage, matching, astrological matching to see if this boy will be suitable for this girl, because different kinds of people mix up with other kinds of people. People have different natures. But Krishna, he relates well to every person. Krishna is not limited in his ability to relate to all different kinds of people. He's unlimited. So every one of us, whatever nature we may have, of course at the present time our original constitutional nature of loving service to Krishna is covered over by the perverted nature of wanting to enjoy this material world. But our inherent nature is one of loving service to Krishna. And that can be revived by the process of Bhakti Yoga. Even though we are so far away at the present time, we're so much covered over. But Krishna has given this process by which, if we begin with a little faith in Krishna, we will naturally want to associate with devotees of Krishna. And by seeing the devotees of Krishna, how they're very nicely engaged in serving Krishna, then we think, well, I'd like to be like that too. And so we take directions from devotees on how to chant the names of Krishna, how to follow the principles of Krishna consciousness. And then when we take up the principles of Krishna consciousness seriously, we find it has its effect. The first effect of following the principles of sadhana bhakti seriously is that unwanted things start to diminish. Immediately, if one takes up Krishna consciousness seriously, if anyone has any bad habits such as meat eating, gambling, illicit sex, intoxication, watching TV, reading newspapers, and so many useless things for wasting time, he'll immediately give those up. And more subtle contaminations such as desires for material enjoyment, hearts are diminished, and one gains a taste for serving Krishna. He likes to chant Hare Krishna, likes to study Srimad Bhagavatam, likes to associate with devotees, likes to perform various services to Krishna and his devotees. He has a taste, and as that taste in his heart increases, then his faith in Krishna consciousness becomes very strong. And he becomes deeply attached to serving Krishna. And when one is attached to serving Krishna, then naturally his loving feelings for Krishna manifest within the heart. And the manifestation of loving feelings within the heart, that is the prior stage to developing pure love for Krishna. So we see how starting from the stage of just having some initial faith in Krishna consciousness, if one associates with devotees and follows the principles of sadhana bhakti, this process given by Krishna, then we will gradually, by following the process, then gradually one develops love for Krishna, by which he sees Krishna everywhere and everything in Krishna, and cannot but see everything in a relationship with Krishna. When a Krishna conscious person sees a tree, he thinks, this is Krishna's tree, this is Krishna's energy. Whatever he sees in relationship with Krishna. By studying Bhagavad-gita, he understands how everything in this material world is going on working due to a combination of the three modes of material nature, which is going on under the direction of Krishna. And he sees how everyone is acting under these modes because they are not Krishna conscious. He sees Krishna's hand in everything. And he sees everything in relationship with Krishna. So that is the perfectional stage of a devotee, by which he also always sees Krishna. Of course, seeing Krishna, that is not all in all. We may think, well, the perfection of life is to see Krishna, but actually it's not. The perfection of life is to serve Krishna with full love and devotion. And if one does that, then he will naturally see Krishna. Many times people ask us, have you seen Krishna? But that's not really the right question. The real question is, have you served Krishna? Everyone is seen. Some recognize and some don't. Or people say, I saw Krishna in a dream. I went to Vrindavan and I had a vision of Krishna. So, that may be very nice, but more important is to serve Krishna. Otherwise, so many people are seeing. But they see, but they don't like to serve. Even so many great asuras, Kans, Jarasandha, Duryodhana, Shakuni, they saw Krishna, but they had no attitude of loving service towards Krishna. So, one who likes to serve Krishna, then he will certainly see Krishna in a manner that is conducive for developing his love for Krishna. Otherwise, even the demons are seeing Krishna. But their attitude is not one of loving Krishna. Therefore, they don't get the real benefit that is had by devotees who simply want to serve Krishna. So these are some more subtle points of understanding that we should try to think how to serve Krishna. Our Param Guru Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to say, don't try to see God. It's an unusual instruction. You think an atheist will give such an instruction. Don't try to see God. But he said, but act in such a way that God will be pleased to see you. There is some famous poetess who sings songs. I don't know, it's originally composed in Hindi, but I know the Bengali version that Esho, Esho, Giridhari. Come here, Giridhari. But actually a pure devotee doesn't say, you come here and I will see you and I will be happy. They never say. Rather they're thinking how to serve Giridhari along with Radha. Not that you come here, leave Radha behind and I will enjoy. Separate. No. Prabhupada pointed out the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, that prayer is there describing them, that He Radhe Vrajade Vike Chalalite, He Nanda Suno Kutaha, He Radhe, He Krishna, Lalita, all the gopis, Kutaha, where are you? They're not saying, now I have seen you, you just stand there and I will look at you. Come here, let me look at you. No. They're always searching, how can I find out Krishna? To serve Krishna. And this is the proper attitude of a devotee. All these points are very subtle. To understand fully what is the proper understanding of Krishna consciousness, it requires very proper guidance. Otherwise, if we're putting so much emphasis on, even Krishna here is saying, those who see me, but how to see Krishna. The devotees, they will guide us how to see Krishna. Otherwise, if we see Krishna with the wrong attitude, then that will not be actually very favorable for our advancement in devotional service, nor very pleasing to Krishna. So many people are going to see in Tirumala, they're going to see Balaji, Srinivas, Govinda, Govinda. So they're devotees, they have faith in Srinivas, otherwise why should they go? So they're devotees. But mostly they're all going, they're thinking, how I will be benefited by going. And even they're thinking to do some service, but they're thinking, by my service, I will get more service from him. So it's not a proper devotional attitude. We can say that it's a beginning stage, but it's not a pure devotional attitude. That's why we have, if we're actually to be devotees, we have to be trained and guided by those who are in the pure devotional line. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, one of our great acharyas, has described there are two kinds of faith in God. One is lokik shraddha. That people may have some general idea of who is God, and therefore they worship Him. It may be because they saw something on TV, or they heard some lecture, or because in their family it's going on. And often it's mixed up with all different wrong ideas. That okay, Krishna is God, but there are also so many other gods. They may have so many wrong ideas. But the actual platform on which one can clearly understand Krishna and see Him in proper perspective is when one has Shastriya Shraddha, faith that is based on knowledge, on Shastra, that is received in a bona fide parampara. So there's a difference. It's not all the same. And therefore, we have some great acharyas in human society who guide, who give the proper concept of understanding who is Krishna, so that we can develop our love for Krishna and see Krishna everywhere, and even above and beyond seeing Krishna, to develop our mood of fully surrendered service attitude for Krishna. Hare Krishna. Is there any question about this?
Many devotees chanting 24 hours outside Mass. In fact, they say that Mathura is originally belonging to Rama and he was donated to Krishna later on. It's not the actual place of Krishna. So whatever it is, 24 hours chanting of Ram Ram goes on rather than Krishna Ram in Buddha. Similarly, let me conclude this. Similarly, some devotees of Narasimha they say that only our Lord is the only God who has come to the rescue of the devotees. Rama took 14 years to save Sita, on the way they were suffering. Krishna took 12 years to kill Kamsa, all the way people were suffering. Narasimha was the only God who has been protecting the child right from the womb. And in fact, he is the only God who can protect the devotees right now and right now. So they worship only Narasimha. So my question is, so if that depends upon the taste of the devotee, which form you would like to worship and which way you would like to worship. How are these compared?
That may be true, the taste of the devotee, but the things the concepts, did everyone hear what was said? Some of the attitudes here, they're not fully devotional, they're somewhat materialistically influenced. If you wanted to take that further, you can also say that Nrsingadev allowed Prahlad to be tortured so much. So he was behind schedule. Then you should go to the Prishnigava form of the Lord, who as soon as Gajendra made his prayers, he came. Then he should be better. But these are all materialistic ways of judging. Just like people say, Ram is very moral, Krishna isn't moral, therefore Ram is better. These are all materialistic ways of judging.
Then they have scriptural evidence.
Scriptural evidence, but then that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Scriptural evidence, of course it's scriptural evidence that Krishna took 14 years, or Ram took 14 years, and Nrsingadev took less time, but you're quoting scripture, but do you have the full realization of the atheists are also quoting. Devil is also quoting scripture. So, that's what I'm saying, to have the fully devotional attitude, one doesn't praise one avatar by condemning or minimizing another. That in the material world, if you want to praise someone, you may do so by minimizing the position of another. But rather, one will understand the mood of all the... If you say that Ram took 14 years, that makes it sound as if he's incapable. Actually, he killed it. There was no need for Ravana to kidnap Sita in the first place. He knows everything. He knows what's going on. But it's all for the sake of Leela. This understanding of Leela is very subtle. Why the Lord is allowing so many bad things to happen. Why the Pandavas were put into so many difficulties when they were devotees of the Lord. So everything has to be, that's why everything has to be understood. One interesting statement Prabhupada writes in the Bhagavatam commentary is that Krishna consciousness means to see the universe from Krishna's point of view. So we may be studying the Srimad Bhagavatam, but if we read it from our materialistically influenced point of view, then we're going to misunderstand. Therefore we have to understand from all the acharyas. And acharya means those who are in bona fide sampradaya. And even you'll find some popular strains of bhakti, which are very widely spread, but they're also tinged by materialistic outlook, just like you're saying Ramcharitmanas. But that's also, our acharyas have not accepted that as a fully devotional work. There are tinges of mayavad there, and caste consciousness also, that condemning Shudras and all this. So, what actually is pure devotion? That has to be understood very clearly. And even there may be bona fide sampradayas, but it's not that everyone who comes in a bona fide sampradaya is himself bona fide. That may mean that your guru is bona fide, but does not necessarily make you bona fide. Because if you say something which is not according to the proper parampara system, then it's bogus. That's Krishna says in Bhagavad-gita that Evang parampara praptam evang rajasriyo vidu sakalena yamata yoga nashta parantapa. The knowledge of the science of yoga, this means particularly bhakti yoga, this comes down by parampara system, but it becomes broken, it becomes lost. That means that someone at some point who's in a bona fide sampradaya says the wrong thing. Or they may, in one generation they may say 1% wrong, and then the next generation it becomes 2%, and then in the course of time it's all lost. So that's why when we approach a guru, the first qualification we have to see, Shotriyam, is he Shotriyam begin. So one has to be very careful who he hears from, and actually it's the mercy of the Lord by which one can discriminate and understand what is bona fide and what isn't. It's only by the mercy of the Lord. It depends on our sincerity. Otherwise we may be misled. It's the same thing in our ISKCON also. It's not that everyone who is a disciple of Prabhupada is speaking the absolute truth as Prabhupada spoken. They may say, and they may quote Prabhupada. There are so many instances. Some years ago, I was saying to one devotee that, why are you getting up at 8 o'clock every morning? Prabhupada said to get up at 4 o'clock. He said, well, Prabhupada said that his father was a pure devotee and he used to rise a little late every day. So his father's a pure devotee, he rose late, so I can also rise late. So he's only quoting from what Prabhupada said. But what is his interpretation? Prabhupada quoting an exception, he takes it as the rule. Whereas Prabhupada said, my father who was a pure devotee used to rise a little late. But he gave the instruction to his disciples that you should rise early. But he's taking an exception to be a rule. And not that he's a pure devotee, not that, Prabhupada's father used to rise a little late, therefore I should do, then I'll be a pure devotee. So this is malinterpretation for the sake of sense gratification. It means you're actually not sincere. And all the religious systems become spoiled like this. Christianity originated, Jesus, all scholarly research points to the fact that Jesus was a vegetarian, didn't drink alcohol, and promoted knowledge of reincarnation. But that's all been edited out of the Bible because certain Christians at certain point in time thought, well, we don't like that. So let's just change a few words here and there. Make Christianity. Sometimes we hear that said in Krishna consciousness also, that to make it more popular, we should just change a few things here and there. So Christianity became very popular. But it's actually not Christianity, because it's not what Christ said. It's not, what is there may be what Christ said, but it's devoid of, it's reinterpreted. So the essence has changed. So it's posing as what Christ said, but it's not actually in toto what he said. That's why you have to be very careful to follow the parampara. Even you see how he's quoting this, Esho Esho Giridhari, come here Giridhari. Everyone's saying, what a great devotee. It seems like that, isn't it? If you're always calling out Giridhari, come to me, but our acharyas have pointed out, this is not the devotional mood that you call, come and you come to me. No. We should be thinking how to serve the devotees of the devotees, not of Krishna, not that God will come and I will enjoy with him. That's not the proper devotional attitude. Therefore we have to learn the proper devotional attitude. Mood. We see Prabhupada was always very practical acharya. He was always emphasizing devotees, they follow sadhana very properly and serve Krishna. What is your service? Do service. Not, of course, Prabhupada was always speaking philosophy, but it wasn't simply theoretical, very practical also. There's so many examples. One time, Prabhupada used to go for a walk every morning from the Krishna Balaram temple when he was staying in Vrindavan, and one of his disciples used to stand at the gate waiting for Prabhupada to come, and he would recite so many shlokas when Prabhupada was going out. At one time Prabhupada was going out, he said, look, there's all this water spilled here, why don't you sweep it up, do something practical. The devotee was standing, well, I'm chanting shlokas, do something practical. You see, you're standing there with all the water flooding everywhere, and you're chanting shlokas. Shlokas are for praise of the Lord. In the meantime, the whole place is becoming messed up. Why don't you see it? Yo mam pashyati sarvat, seeing me everywhere. Oh, I'm seeing Krishna everywhere. Meanwhile, the whole temple is filthy, dirty, full of cobwebs, and the phone bill isn't paid, the electricity bill isn't paid, but I simply love Krishna. Love means do something practical, clean up, keep everything clean, manage Krishna's affairs very properly. Prabhupada used to say, Krishna is in the details. How to find Krishna, how to see Krishna, what are all the details of our devotional service. Sevan mukhe hi jivado swayameva spuratiyata. One who has a service attitude to Krishna, Krishna reveals himself to such a devotee. Otherwise, that I'm a Nrsimha Rupasat, I'm better than you. It's a materialistic outlook actually, to think like that. No, I didn't say it to you, I didn't say about you, I'm saying if anyone thinks like that, oh, I'm worshipping Ram. Ram is better than Krishna, therefore I am better than the Krishna devotees. It's the same ahankar in a different form, that's all. Rather we see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of course he was promoting Krishna Bhakti, but he very much appreciated, you'll find in Chaitanya Charitamrita, how much he appreciated devotees who had pure love for Lord Ram. He had great appreciation of that. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, he was living in Puri for 18 years. Every day he would enter the temple, going right through the gate, at the side there's the temple of Lord Nrsimha. And every day, before going to see Jagannath, his thought was for Jagannath. He was seeing Jagannath, we see the form, we might say an unusual form, but he was seeing Dvibhuj Muralidhar. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was seeing Jagannath like that. But before he entered, first he would offer his prayers to Nrsimha Dev. The same prayer that we're singing daily here. Namaste Narasimhaya Prahalada Hladadayane Hiranyakashipo Vaksha Shilatankana Kale Ito Nrsimho Parato Nrsimho Yato Yato Yami Tato Nrsimho. Same thing. Krishna says, one who sees me everywhere. So wherever I go, Ito Nrsimho, Nrsimho is here. Ito Nrsimho Parato in the other place, he's also there. Yato Yato Yami Tato Nrsimho. Wherever I go, there is Nrsimho. Bahir Nrsimho, Hridaya Nrsimho. Nrsimho is outside, he's in my heart also. Therefore, Nrsimha Mahadim Sharanam Prapadyaya.